Welcome back to another episode, everyone. I just have a short one for you guys today because it's been a week. I'm tired, but still wanted to leave you guys with something this week. So, today's episode was actually inspired, ironically enough, by the last TikTok video that I watched. And I don't mean last as in the most recent, as in the last one that I watched before I deleted the app. And it was this girl who was describing how she had been out of school, out of college for a couple years, just living her life, working a little bit, and wanting to go back to pursue higher education, to pursue like a master's. But she accounted how she was so used to immediate satisfaction, this constant influx of dopamine through scrolling and never being allowed to be bored and just constantly consuming media, that she found it almost impossible to actually study, to actually do something that was mentally draining or taxing, something like reading or studying your homework or doing math problems or any sort of mentally unstimulating practice. And this really hit me because it was exactly what I've been going through. I noticed that when I took my last few courses in my PhD, I found it near impossible to actually get myself to commit and sit down and study and focus on material that I found exceptionally challenging. And it was quite a surprise to me because when I was in my undergrad, I felt like I was an incredibly good learner. I felt like I'm not the smartest person, not by a long shot, but what I did give myself credit for was knowing how to study, knowing how to learn. And I found that for some reason it wasn't the same this time. And the only thing that I could safely tie to that outcome was my increased consumption of social media lately. It had gotten to the point where I was spending the better part of 2 to 3 hours throughout the day staring at my screen, just scrolling through content. And I found like I never allowed myself a time to feel bored. And that was a really, it was a wake up call for me because I really felt like, shit, if I want to actually finish this degree, then I need to actually like sit down and do the work. And I honestly found that when I deleted the app, which was just a couple weeks ago now, my productivity immediately skyrocketed. There's literally a hole on my home screen where the app used to be, and I catch myself sometimes opening my phone and going to tap on it, and it's just thankfully not there. And I can't even tell you what a weird feeling it is to be so instinctively drawn to a software program, to an app. You know, I'm not saying to delete all of your social media. Of course, that would be fantastic. I know that you want to be connected in one way or another to your friends, to your people, your community, whatever it is. But I think it's very worth taking, even if it's just a short break, just delete the app, man. I really mean it. Trust me. Even give yourself a challenge of just like a week. Delete TikTok. If you're the kind of person that will just find yourself laying in bed before going to bed, before going to sleep, and just scrolling, and then all of a sudden it's 2 a.m., trust me, you will not believe the difference. It's crazy. Even in terms of my productivity, when it's come to work or my studies or anything, I do not catch myself sat at my desk accidentally, losing 30 minutes just because I saw a video that someone sent me, and then I just fell down that rabbit hole. So I really think that if we are a little bit more conscious with our consumption, especially given that the world nowadays is just so fast, so full of content, so full of everything. There this is the most information dense time that we have ever lived in, and this is a very clear sign that we're almost being pushed away from being able to do things that matter. There was a there was a conspiracy, or I'm gonna lean on a conspiracy a little bit. I remember watching a congressional hearing where the CEO of TikTok was being absolutely grilled by US senators for honestly some of the stupidest comments that I've ever heard in my life. But one of the things that, funnily enough, kind of came to mind when I was experiencing this was one of the senators had said, isn't TikTok just a way to make US kids dumber so that way we can't make the same productivity in our economy and then China can take over. It was something along those lines. It was a completely stupid, benign comment, but I'm not gonna lie, having felt the way I've felt lately and noticing how much my consumption influenced my ability to actually sit down and just do work for a couple hours, it kind of reminded me of it a little bit. So just something to keep in mind for the future. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. It kind of, I felt like I needed to say this a little bit. I really feel like this was just such an unlocking of potential. Just commit, even for a little bit, just do a little social media detox and take the time to yourself. Just kind of notice how much extra time you'll have in the day. I find it quite funny that without that constant like being like lost in time when you're scrolling, it just feels like the day is longer too. So anyway, yeah, give it a go. Let me know how you think. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.